Get on in here. Come on in. The water's fine. Welcome back, everyone, to a beautiful afternoon. I hope that you're doing well, having a great day out there. I wish I could open the window a little bit more to get like a little bit, well, actually the light is actually decent. I always think like I want a little bit more light in here, but I don't need my windows open to everybody to be looking up in my windows and seeing what's going on. Anyways, today we're listening to the track Wise Guy by the Monsoon Bassoon. I've never heard of them, but we're going to listen to this track because it is recommended, and this reaction is sponsored by James Warner. So James, thank you so much for the recommendation. I have the track pulled up here on YouTube, and you also sent me an email with some of the information on the band. You said that they were a short-lived British psychedelic prog rock band. Like I said, I've never heard of them, but I like the name, Monsoon Bassoon. It just rolls off of the tongue. And you've also sent me the lyrics after you had actually reached out to the band themselves, which is really awesome. Thank you for doing that. Makes it a little easier for me because I was searching, couldn't find it. So thank you for tossing that in there. And then you also said that when you got an email from one of the band members, that they also included kind of like their thoughts on the lyrics in the track. I'm not reading that until after. We'll get my thoughts first, and then we'll go from there. So let me go ahead and pull up the track here. It is going to be on YouTube. I almost said on Wikipedia, but that is not true. Let's give it a listen. We'll talk about it after. Here we go.
I'm in a hole, nothing I did, just go and dig. Reach over past us a chair, shiver the hole. 1,000 ideas I'm gonna dig, so come on, pass us a chair. I'm in a hole, and a flashbulb.
Count it out.
I saw 3 silver sixes. 3 silver sixes saw me in a hole in Folk Gardens. Lost in greenbacks. When I saw 3 silver sixes.
I like their backing vocals here. It's kind of heavy. I like that open hi-hat on the beat. That's going to take a second to catch. 7-8, I got you. What in the theremin is this? This is like so math rock. There's so many like changes. It's like it's holding back its release. Like it's trying to get out. You feel it, right? Right here. There it goes. Bass is ripping in. There's a lot happening. The horns are an interesting inclusion as well, kind of riffing along with like the guitar and bass in a lot of ways. Half step. Great drumming though. I thought it was gonna go off again. why do I even bother trying to follow it? Why am I trying? It's like turning, it's like a noise drop kind of sound here. This is a good climax. Listen to the grandness of the horns. Little feedback just to wind you out. I genuinely do not even know. On one hand, I'm kind of hearing this in a similar way as when we listen to Cardiacs, who I need to return to soon, I know. In which, like, I'm overwhelmed. At first, I'm really genuinely overwhelmed. There's a lot happening. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of cool stuff happening as well, like incredibly cool stuff. The guitar, like, first of all, forget the guitar for a second. The structure of this whole thing is always moving, never resting. And even though there's moments of quiet and slow down, like, that's for you to take a quick breath, wipe the sweat off your brow, because it's about to go back into it. Which I think is really cool because it keeps things fresh. It keeps things moving along. Now, you know me. I like to sit with a groove, sit with something for a while. So sometimes things moving very quickly between transitions and different moments in the structure and movements in the structure, it doesn't always sit with me. And that is, to be honest, the case here. I'm still, like, there's just so much going on and so quick that I felt like I didn't necessarily have a moment to, like, sit with some of the moments in here or to kind of, talk to, get to know. No, this thing's dragging me on the second, third, and fourth date, like, quickly, and before I know it, the ring's already in this song's hand. Like, there's no time. I need to warm up to it first. Now, I don't know if I can find the album to see, like, where this track is in the playlist, if this is near the beginning, near the end, because sometimes that does help to give a little bit of context. But regardless, this is kind of like in that math rock, like I said during the song, like that math rocky kind of sound where it's just like throwing everything in the kitchen sink. But I do think it does it really well. It kind of comes across also with a little bit of a alternative metal rock kind of sound. Like, besides Cardiacs, which I mentioned, I was also kind of thinking the little bit I know of them, of like a Faith No More and all the bands like that are based around Mike Patton, like his eccentricities. I kind of get a similar idea to an extent with what's happening here, because you have a lot of, almost jazz influence. You have the horns that are included in here. The singing is like, I like the singing, and I love when the harmonies come from behind in here. Let me just get the band members up here so I can use names. So you're going to have Carvis Torabi on the lead vocals and the guitar. I think that Carvis has like this really unique kind of voice in which it works very well in kind of this, distressful, distorted kind of rock sound, but also works very well in some of the more eccentric ways as well. I love the backing harmonies. I love when the rest of the band would come in. You're going to have Sarah Measures and then Dan Chudley on the backing vocals. And I just really enjoyed like when they would come in, especially when Sarah came in. And I think it's just because like it gave it a different flavor. It sweetened the pot a little bit when we were kind of in those chaotic moments. Took me a second to catch the time signature, started in 7/8, and then it started going, and I couldn't follow it from then on. And at a certain point, I figured, why bother try to follow it. The drums were really good as well, especially those moments. I don't know how to describe it, but the like that's stupid. That was a horrible way to do it. The drums have this nice, complicated, and yet flowing nature in a lot of the sections there, not just used as fills, but also used as just the lead with a lot of things. That's going to be Jamie Fraser Ketty on the drums. And then Sarah Measures, I don't think I mentioned, also is playing the saxophone, clarinet, flute, some of those woodwind instruments and wind instruments that we heard being played, which I thought was really cool. It kind of brings in a little bit of a morphine idea to it. A little bit. I'm not comparing the bands. I'm not saying that this band sounds like who I'm going to say. But in the same way that like someone like Frank Zappa would incorporate different instrumentation into the music to pull it all together. Like I said, honestly, I can't say that I liked this, but I can't say I didn't like it. I'm generally just left a little overwhelmed with it, which, hey, is not necessarily a bad place to be. Looking at the lyrics, which I'm not pulling up because it's in my email. You know what? I'm not going to show you my email, guys. Come on. Is there a way I can pull it up without? No, I'll just read the lyrics. Okay, I'm in a hole, it's nothing I didn't just go and dig. Reach over, grab us a chair, shivered a hole, 1,000 ideas I'm gonna dig. So come on, pass us a chair. Like, pass us a chair. We're gonna sit here, we're gonna dig a little bit. In the flashbulb of clarity, I saw 3 silver sixes, and 3 silver sixes saw me in a hole. In bold gardens, lost in green bank, when I saw 3 silver sixes. Sinking the blood-set star dance side me, I said I'd never let it go or let it get that far inside me. So there's resistance. That far inside me, a silver hole lined with sixes. So like the pieces fit, like, right? Like the hole that you were going to dig, and the hole is inside you, those silver sixes. You got the silver sixth hole, well, it's going to fit on you, right? Perfect puzzle piece. Today my frozen gravity is bored. A million beastly uncut diamonds reach over, pass us a chair. Like, still, through all of this, pass us a chair. We're doing this. Now, I'm just reading the email itself. Lyrics. This is directly from Carvis, the lead singer that we just mentioned. He says, I was somewhat self-conscious about lyrics in my mid-20s and would deliberately obfuscate, I love that word, even if I didn't say it correctly, anything that seemed too close to what I was really trying to say, so that any obvious meaning would generally remain ambiguous for most listeners. And Wise Guy is no exception. The line, today my frozen gravity is bored, especially the Monsoon Bassoon lyrics being littered with keywords, phrases, in-jokes, and expressions from our personal lexicon while being pretty autobiographical about our curiously entwined lives. We wrote the words for each other. As Janners, Plymouthians, who relocated to London, wide-eyed bumpkins in a big city, we retained a certain way of talking and had our own way of talking. Not necessarily common to anyone outside of our little clique. You had the in-jokes, right? Every clique, every group of friends or whoever has their certain way that they speak to each other. And sometimes that doesn't make sense to anyone else. Like with my wife and I, we call each other nah. I cannot tell you where that came from. It's just something that I don't, like, what's up nah? She'll say, or I'll say, what's up nah? Like, I don't know where it came from. It doesn't mean anything. So I definitely understand that. Where did I leave off? Let's see. Retain a certain time, which I started reading way off. I should have started. I started off way too wrong. Which used to delight Tim Smith among others. The lyrics remain as all my words since, a snapshot of who I was at the time of writing, in this case a confused young man as opposed to the confused middle-aged man of now. Tim Smith from Cardiacs, who I just mentioned. I'm looking now in your email, James. Unless I'm missing it, I don't see anything about Cardiacs in here. Am I missing a connection to Cardiacs? I literally... The band cited a broad range of influences, including Henry Cow. We've listened to a little bit of them. Cardiacs. XTC. Sometimes you can pull the wool over my eyes, but don't call me a sheep. Let me know what you guys thought of the track in the comments down below. James, thank you so much for the recommendation and the support. I hope that you guys enjoyed the music. Thank you so much for being here. Follow me in a bunch of places. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. I really just did that. Bye. Get it?